Okay, we're live, Hey folks, this is Rotorstorm331, back to doing some speedrunning for SNES Super Stars. This is my first time doing this event, and we're going to be playing two games, both from the Russian Beat series, but here in the States they're known by different names. We're going to be kicking off with Brawl Brothers. So we're going to be going on live with this game first. Also shout-outs to SpeedGaming for this event, and for having me. I'll be doing 4 runs for the event. Today is the first 2. And then the Sunday following after this Sunday is going to be Joe Mac and Return of Double Dragon. Of course, we got to see a little bit of that today on the Super Double Dragon front by Critical Gaming. Congrats to him on his run, by the way. Alright. So once we get started, we're going to get going. Time's going to start the moment I pick my characters. Before I go ahead and select my characters, I do want to go over a few things real quick. The routing for this game is actually affected based on the first 2 characters you pick. The first character which I picked is Slash. Basically when you do that, the boss order gets selected based on which character you chose first. The second character you select eliminates them from that order. So once I pick Wendy, we're going to go ahead and start timer. Another reason why we picked Wendy is because her clone battle is pretty hard to deal with. So anyway, here we go. 3, 2, 1, and go! Alright, so throughout much of this run, we're going to be using Slash as our main character of choice. He's going to be doing most of the heavy lifting, except for one part where we need hack. So basically, by picking this... Oh, shoot. Hang on. Shoot. I thought I set it for easy. Ah! Yeah, run invalidated. Because we're playing this on easy, and normally you don't see that gunman right off the gate. That was my bad, folks. My bad. We'll get this corrected, and then we'll get the run started. So yeah, mistakes happen. Okay, come on. Come on, title screen. We don't have all day. So, my apologies. Yeah, we do not want that on hard. I forgot to switch that to easy. This counter, I always do my speedruns on easy difficulty. That enables me to basically have to deal with less enemies with higher health and enemies we would not normally would see. But anyway, we're going to pick the characters, do the timer again, then we'll get started. But yeah, we can't beat this on hard. At least not for me. Okay, ready, go! Alright, let's get this show on the road, because I already screwed up and we don't have all day. Plus we got another Russian Beat game coming up right after this. Alright, let's go. So anyway, Slash is going to be our main character of choice, because he and Lord J are the only 2 characters with the ability to use their dash attacks to hit ground enemies. So we're going to get these guys ready together. We're going to try to group them all together, but the problem is we can't really beat all of them immediately. Yeah. Unfortunately, Slash has poor jumping here, unfortunately. So as you can tell, that big boot of his allows us to knock down enemies even on ground. So we want to take full advantage of that whenever we can. Now we got these 2 gunmen coming right at us. We want to try to get them all together. Yeah, we're going to try not to do throws if we can. But sometimes we need to protect ourselves, so that's also another reason why we do them. And we don't really use a whole lot of the specials, but I know Noble Boy does that, who does the world record for this category, actually. Alright, so we're off to a little bit of a sluggish pace, but we can rebound. Unfortunately, the Green Soldier has very high priority on that part here. So anyway, we're going to wait for these guys to line up. So another reason we have angry modes that take advantage of invincibility frames. So we're pretty much immune to damage. Plus we get access to hyper throws. Which will allow us to deal more damage than normal. Anyway, we got this lead head coming up. We're going to blast him with Flame Breath. Flame Breath is technically Slash's bread and butter, pretty much. And we use that a whole lot. He does have another special move, which allows him to jump very high into the air and perform a meteor-like kick. Not bad. Ouch. Yeah, unfortunately, you can definitely recover from throws or knockdowns with the jump button as you land. Unfortunately, I was ill-prepared for that, unfortunately. So yeah, they changed up a lot of names. Unfortunately, a lot of the enemies are called, usually by clone licensing, I believe. Much of the plot was removed for the localization version of this game, but it involves mostly your characters are... 3 of your characters get taken hostage by Diner, or Iceman as he's known in Japan, and your goal is to rescue your 3 colleagues that you didn't pick. Now, I do have to be careful when performing the Flame Breath because it's pretty easy to accidentally trigger the taunt button. Normally, I would, if I was doing pretty well, I'd be right around 240 right now, but it's just the way sometimes things go, you know. Alright, since we are on marathon pace, we do need to pick up health items. Because that'll help us protect us and get some more health back. And believe it or not, if there's active hitbox frames for the back suplex. So normally in the US versions we have the mazes, but we now have we now know exactly which ones we can take. And we can bypass much of the level as a result. You have to forgive me, talking is not one of my strong areas. Alright, so we're gonna race down here, wait for the Phantoms to get in position, and we're gonna Flame Breath them all. So if we don't miss up on priority. Then we're gonna do this. Alright, not bad. Yeah, some of them are obnoxious with their jump attacks and whatnot. Luckily, these guys aren't much of a threat, but... Now we get set up dashing. There we go. And then we make it to the end, so we're going to do a back suplex. Try to trap all these guys to the corner. And that should take out Cyberhead there. Cyberheads are pretty annoying because they love to dash. So due to the boss lineup, we now have to deal with Kazan first as our first opponent. He's going to be very crucial later on for setting up some quick kills on bosses. This also means deliberately taking some continues. Now, I don't want to screw this up because we want to aim for a 3 cycle. Come on, Kazan, stop playing this game. Okay, he was not supposed to do that. Man, he just reversed it on me again. Yeah. These guys can literally reverse your throws. This is probably the worst stage 1 I've pretty much had in a long time. Normally I'm usually around 5 minutes. Alright. So that completes stage 1, and we're going to go on to stage 2. By the way, shoutouts to NobleBoy77. He was the one that discovered that 3 cycle strat, by the way. So we got Kazan back as our playable character, but we're still going to stick with Slash here, aka Douglas Build. Like I said, he's going to be the linchpin of this run, and he's going to do most of the heavy lifting, pretty much. So now we're in the Jungle Gym. And now we're just going to big boot all these guys on the ground. as long as we stay at the bottom of the screen, we don't have to worry about hitting those landmines. So believe it or not, you have 2 throw buttons when you pick up throwable items. One throws it all the way across the screen, whereas the other will bounce off enemies, and you can pick it up again. You're allowed to pick up items for a certain amount of time. This can also be done with healing items as well. Yeah, I hate when these enemies do the stupid box movement. When they do that, that's usually not a very good sign. Of course, now that we have angry mode, we don't have to worry about triggering those landmines. You do get some invincibility frames with the flame breath, but not all the time. Plus, you also have a risk of triggering the taunt button, which, as far as I know, does not really do anything at all. Man, it's very weird because the other day I had pretty good practice, and now it's just like, what the heck happened? It's like you practice it all the time, and then when you start going in the event, it just goes the reverse. But then again, that just happens. Alright, so we're gonna race home. And unfortunately, that was not what I wanted. It's very difficult to trigger the flame breath most of the time. And unfortunately, the enemies are pretty smart in this game. Luckily, we got a first aid kit coming up, so we can heal ourselves immediately. We'll position our character right here. That's going to be needed to manipulate some of the enemies into jumping off the platform a little bit later. But yeah, a lot of the enemies coming down right now are very low health. So all we have to do is just position ourselves right here, deliver jump attacks as they come, and we'll see how it goes here. But once we get near the end, we'll have the kickboxers after us again. So believe it or not, Rushing Beat X is going to be making a return, obviously. Well, I shouldn't say a return, but the series is going to make a comeback at some future point, but we don't know when it's going to be coming out. Whether or not it's coming out in the States, or just Japan, or whatever, but once more news about the game comes out, we'll hear more. But it's been some years since Rushing Beat was played. And apparently the new game is going to probably be taking place between Brawl Brothers and Peacekeepers, also known as Ron and Shira in Japan. Pick up the health item. Wait for this to go there, because if we position our character right there, it's not going to work. Alright, let's get some distance. Looks like we both had the right idea of big boots. Alright, not bad. Alright, not bad. Rid of the gunmen at least 2 of them. And that takes care of them. Alright, so we got this coming up. Moving back and forth during the special will let us hit mobile enemies if we're lucky. Do a dash attack, then punch the helicopter from the first stage. Now, if you don't take damage when you use a special, you do get some of that life back. So anyway, we're coming up with Clone Hack as our second boss due to this choice lineup. So we're going to walk back a bit. do a suplex, then try to blast him with Flame Breath. And of course, we're going to try to make sure we have some distance so he doesn't go dashing on us. This is why I call it the zombie strat. Because he does get priority if you go try to grab him too early. But anyway, that was a perfect hack fight. No damage taken. Alright, so now that we got Hack back, we're going to be switching to him briefly for the first part of Stage 3, because we're going to be throwing enemies into the pits, pretty much. And do not try this in real life, by the way. Alright, let's get going. So anyway, the lead we're going to be seeing coming up is going to have high priority attacking us. So we should probably not try to... There we go. Oh, that Butch just grabbed us. Also, this stage is the beginning of the first stages that we start dealing with Butches. These guys are pretty much wrestler-type enemies that love to throw us and do a lot of crazy shenanigans on us. So we're going to deliberately take some damage because we do need to take life losses eventually. Because once we go to the next part, we're going to be using a continue. Basically, we're going to throw all these guys into the pits off screen, and we're going to take an intentional death here. And let's set up our live count to 0. Darn it, grab me. Ooh, he went in, he got... Oh, thank goodness, he didn't make it. Alright, there we go. That's basically what you're going to be doing. You can also use Kazan for this, of course. Also, you can let go of your grabs with the jump button. So if you get an unsavory grab, you can always use the jump button and reposition yourself. So if you accidentally grab an enemy from behind, you can use jump to get them to face forward instead. Come on. There we go. That's more like it. Okay, Butch, you were supposed to be grabbed. This will get the other two enemies to fall. Once we position our character right here, that's going to force any of the enemies coming from that lower part to jump off instead. Okay, you weren't supposed to do that. That's one problem about fighting the gold phantoms, is that they have high priority with their shoulder charge move. Dang, that hurt. Okay, you're gone, and you're gone too. Go to your timeout corners, please. Alright, we're gonna throw all these guys next. Now we can also throw them over here. Deliberately jump off. Force most of these guys. Come on. Alright, not bad. Yeah, I want to lose some of that energy, so I had to start triggering the special here. Alright, there we go. Mission complete. We got our lives down to 0. Now we can take an intentional continue and switch characters. So anytime you continue, you'll have the ability to switch characters. Alright, into the office maze now. Yeah, I really don't like the box movements. Something that always gets me every time here. Okay, so we're going to be getting through these butches. Normally the blue ones tend to have either pretty powerful jump attacks or they just love to grab you. Alright, not bad. Alright, that wasn't bad at all. Okay, now we gotta finish off all these, defeat all these enemies. My apologies. Thank you, Butch. Alright, so the solution for this maze, we go 1 floor down, 2 floors up, and then 2 floors down. This was discovered by Barry KN9. He found this strat, so all credit goes to him. Yeah, technically the power bomb is actually more better for that situation rather than the back suplex flame breath. Unfortunately, when you hold down the buttons you want to go up or down with the confirm button, sometimes you do lose your health. That kind of works nicely in our favor because we do need to set up a continue near the end of the stage. We do want Kazan for the quick boss defeat strat. Oh, come on. Ouch. Looks like one of the other gunmen survived. Alright, so once we get past here, we'll go 1 more floor up and then 2 more floors down. Alright, I'm going to try to powerbomb these enemies so we can nail them with flame breath afterwards. Technically, powerbomb and flame breath both do the same amount of damage, so doing that combo is pretty nice. But you get a little bit more time to set up the flame breath with the back suplex. Alright, so now we gotta just deal with this Butch here. Alright, we're going 1 floor down. And we'll be out of the maze. Now, technically, the times were a lot more longer before this strat was discovered. So this actually makes the run a lot more doable. Yeah, the red gunmen have a lot more health than normal. It's very hard to set up getting out of grabs. I should probably point out, I still don't know how that works. Sometimes you can literally get out of them, but it is very hard to set it up. Hopefully someone will discover that, and once that's discovered, it becomes a lot more easier for anyone to speedrun this game, obviously. Getting out of grabs would be very nice. I do want to start losing some health. Nice try, Sourhead. I had to set up a continues, so I gotta make sure I get all my lives used up. Oh well, that's fine. We got our health low enough that we can perform the takedown coming up. Alright, let's wait for him to come over here. And then all we do is just do this. Now, there is a chance of these guys breaking out of that loop. I should probably warn you, it's not fail-safe. But this guarantees that you wipe out the enemy pretty quickly. That's how you use Kazan most of the time, when you use him. He wipes out bosses pretty quickly. As long as you can get them trapped in a corner at the one side of the arena, that works perfectly. Alright, so that completes mission stage 3. We get Lord J back, who's our last member we have to rescue. So we have to deal with the main antagonist, Dieter, who's on his flying fortress, pretty much. So we got a huge gauntlet going down, so we need to make sure we don't lose any lives until we get to the point where we do need to start getting ready for continues. Alright, let's make sure we get Leadhead over here. Alright, that cleans house. Ah, darn it. Yeah, like I said before, it is easy to not get your flame breath out when you think you press them both simultaneously. Because the taunt button is very annoying to use. And also, the flame breath does not always make you invincible to everything thrown at you. Might as well show the hyper bomb right here. Or I rather prefer Alex's hyper bomb over builds. I'm gonna race all the way over here. Yeah, unfortunately, like the gold phantoms, these guys, the cyberheads get priority on their slides, unfortunately. Yeah, I just ignore that guy. I know the world record run does it a little bit more differently. Darn it. Darn you, Butch. Okay, so we did lose a life. Let's try not to lose any more. We do want to make it all the way to the end. Alright, that gets rid of the Butch, at least. But we got 2 more of them coming up. Darn it, why am I getting grabbed? This is ridiculous. There we go. Those two take up way too much time to bring down. Just how much does that Butch have in health? Anyway, we stay right there, and then we go straight into that hatch. That's what we're going to be doing. Alright, so we made it inside, but we still got a long more ways to go. Got another fan coming up. Heal up. Alright, there we go. Not bad. Nice to keep all of them together. Yeah, these guys have very high priority, I might add. Yeah, the guys jumping down from above are actually more weaker than most of the enemies that we do fight from the left. I mean, the right. Alright, so we got past that area. Alright, so we got wrestlers and leadheads coming up along with riflemen. Alright, that takes care of all three of them. Alright, we do need to pick up the health coming up. Alright, so this part's gonna get pretty rough almost immediately. Because we got butches, we got leadhead. The leadhead right here has like very high HP. I don't know what he's doing here. Alright. Gotta make sure I don't die here. Otherwise, we'll probably have to be switching to Kazam much earlier than planned. Okay, that didn't go the way I wanted it to, but I'll take it. Alright, so a large amount of the clones are going to be coming right out here. So we do have to be very careful when fighting them, because we got a lot of gunmen coming out right after these guys go down. Alright, there we go. We'll try to set these guys up so we can beat them both at once. Well, not all at once, unfortunately. Only the fan went down. And these zeros just love to get on me today. Yeah, that hitbox is still active when the boot's coming down. Alright, so we're getting close to the end, so we do need to make sure we stay alive until we get to the final part where we need to beat up some of the enemies, not all of them, and then we can have Kazan finish the rest. So yeah, we got a lot of lead heads, phantoms, and just about every enemy coming right at us, pretty much. I do need to heal up a bit, so believe it or not, if you use your special, you can also stop yourself from healing completely, which is also a nice way to manage your health, especially if you're trying to set up continues. We're going to take a continue. This will be our last one for the run. Alright, there we go. Now we're going to be trying to set up a quick kill on Diner, or at least deplete most of his health coming up. And time's going to probably be once my character does his winning pose. So we're going to trap Diner right here, deplete most of his health with this special, up until we get to near the end of his second life bar. As you can definitely tell, Diner cannot get out of this position. Well, I shouldn't say that. Yeah, I don't want him near the end there, because once I take a health loss. Alright, so we're going to keep him trapped right there. Please do not break out of this. And there we go. Like I said before, time's going to be once my character does his win pose. And time. 35:43, not bad. Not bad at all. I'll gladly take that. I think I need to start lowering down the amount of lives to have a better time, it seems. Whew. Again, my apologies for the screw-up at the beginning of the run. That was just pretty bad on my part. Anyway, we're going to skip Dyer's boring monologue and watch the rest of this ending. And anyway, once the ending gets done, we'll switch to our next game, which is Rival Turf, the first game of the series, of the Russian Beat series. Seriously, I really wish Jellicoe had put a little bit more thought into the localization. That's all I gotta say to that. But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and switch once I get the approval to do so. And we'll be right back momentarily. game of the series in which Rick Norton and Douglas Build, or as they're called, Jack Flack and Uzi Nelson here in the localized version, try to shut down Joe Kyle's Jicus drug trafficking, and they also need to rescue Norton's sister, Heather. So anyway, we're not going to be using angry mode, so we're going to be going right into starting right now. Anyway, we'll be using Nelson for the run, namely because he has a lot more tools than Flack does, and is actually more better than he is, but I think some people could probably disagree on that if they wish, and rightfully so. Anyway, we're going to be starting the timer the moment I select my character. We're going to go live in 3, 2, 1, go. Now, I do have to be careful when transitioning from the stage screen to live action because it is possible to soft lock the game, leaving it an infinite pause. So Nelson is pretty much the best of the two, namely because he's got a lot more tools like that. Normally it would be a low